Good morning, pregame crew. It is Thursday, September 29th, 2022, 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:21 a.m. Eastern Time. You're at the pregame show, and what I do here is I go over indices, commodities, crypto, and movers and shakers of the day to get you ready for the trading day. We have GDP in 9 minutes. We have jobless claims in 9 minutes. We have potential volatility incoming. What's new? I should just carbon copy and rubber stamp that every day. Audio visual check, please. Thank you, Night Truck. Good morning. How are ya? Hey, Greg, Carlos, Alnick, Night Truck, Bennett, Casey, Amir, Mal, Ken, Andre, Whitney, Matthew, Topher, Mary, Bask. Hey, Roger. It's so interesting how some mornings we have so many people here, and then other mornings it's just really light. It's like, how does this YouTube algorithm work? Oh, hey, Lars Martin. Well, welcome. I will officially get started in 8 minutes, Lars, with those equities and indices, but I will do a few chart requests between now and then. And I rip through about 25 charts in 25 minutes. So hopefully it's an efficient use of your time. And again, I'll just do chart requests. I probably have time for 3 this morning. Go back up and see if I've missed any. Oh. Hey, Kaza, Cybertron, Eli. Good morning. I hope everyone's safe out there. Anyone in the wake of Hurricane Ian? Mal, your electricity's going to get shut off? They turn the power off, they regulate it. Is it rolling blackouts, I guess, in Europe? Okay, CCJ for Whitney. All right. CCJ looks healthy. We're coming into the daily 21 EMA. On any pullback, we have enough room for a higher low. It's not guaranteed. Key support 2466. 4-hour nice bounce. And bulls who don't have a position could potentially position against 2567 as support or possible. This didn't happen on a lot of volume ones. Eesh. You have plenty of room for 4-hour higher low. I would disregard this. This didn't happen on a lot of volume. Yesterday's low is the key support, 2621. 2621. And then 2756, the high of yesterday, are key. And you can keep it really simple. As long as the hourly EMAs are below you, the bulls are fine. A daily lower high is anticipated, though, compared to 2901. Google. Thanks, Make Money. I love your daily show. Andre, we do have some mentors in our room that do formal mentoring. Yes. Google, $100 is what I have to say about Google. From this perspective, $100 seems to be a pretty big threshold. We crossed it yesterday toward the end of the day, and now we're coming back under it. We have enough room for an hourly higher low compared to yesterday's low, 97.11. Here's what I see on so many charts, y'all. This morning has been painful. Looking through charts as we have megaphones. We have lots of broadening formations that are happening. So what could happen today is we could break 170 and hit 101 and still fall back down inside the broadening formation. Something to be aware of. Amazon looks like this. Tesla looks like this. So many names look like this. So I just want you to be careful with tiny higher highs that retract really quick. So I think it has all the setup and structure for a trap, basically. Yesterday, we had a little bit of a short covering rally. It looked great. Now bulls have provided enough space for hourly higher lows. We need to be patient, in my opinion, bottom fishing those. And bears need to be careful top fishing these levels. If you're going to top fish 170, you could go to 101, get stopped out as a bear, and then it still retract. So again, caution out there. I don't have a lot of clarity in the market. And you're like, okay, that's great. Why did I come to the show? I do have levels for you. I'll get you ready for the trading day. We will have a plan. And the plan, actually, I'm going to have to show my notes today. So I have notes off screen every morning, and I show them about once a week. I typically reserve these for TCG members only. But this morning I'm going to have to show the notes because this is the most important paragraph, and I'm going to repeat it over and over and over. It's the same setup on every chart. We have enough room for 4-hour higher lows, yet daily lower highs are the more likely scenario. So we have to position ourselves with precision today. All right, let me go back up. So on Google, I will leave it in that we have enough room for hourly higher low. And bulls are going to wait for a 5-minute trend change during regular trading hours to possibly nail that hourly higher low. And that's the most specificity that I could give you. Okay. Hey, Michael. I cover Apple every day. Yesterday, we discussed the golden pocket. We put a red star here. I didn't change anything on this chart at 145.53, and we're still hanging out in that area. And Apple bulls are going to want to see that area hold. 145.53. We can say 145.50 just to keep it simple. Sometimes 0.707 can come into play. I know it's not officially part of the Fibonacci series, but it's just something that I monitor. It can sometimes hit 142.84, and that matches up with this support over here, 142.12. How low can Apple go? As low as it wants to. I had this image up yesterday. Again, I didn't change anything. We could hit $100, and it wouldn't shock me. And I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just saying the market has a lot of information to digest. North Korea fired a missile this morning. Mester is talking. We have GDP in 2 minutes. We have jobless claims in 2 minutes. And the feds are not backing off all of their hawkish statements. So what I would anticipate is bulls would keep the party going today, but GDP could just stop it all in its tracks. So I'm going to go up to ES before we hit GDP so you can have some levels. That is an errant ray of sunshine right there. Okay, you have support at 367725. You're getting trapped between the hourly EMAs and the hourly 50 MA. And then support below that, 3613. We lost the June low. We've lost the June low. Okay. I gave you the key levels. And I'm going to make a simple statement. And I try to make it simple every morning so we can just kind of keep our bearings. As long as the hourly 50 MA, this yellow line, if you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below the video description to receive a PDF explanation as to what all these colors mean. But I really use the hourly 50 MA and daily 50 MA as my guide. I use it on all time frames, so it's really important to me on the hourly. Once you get up and above it and retest it, it's important for us to hold it. And I think it will be the key today. So 267725, low marked overnight. That's going to be a key level going forward today on ES futures. Let me give you NASDAQ levels for your NASDAQ traders. Same thing, hourly 50 MA must hold today. Our NASDAQ, we still have enough room for a 4-hour higher low. But if we lose the hourly 50 MA, what that means is aggressive bulls will be looking to bottom fish, and then conservative bears will be waiting for another bounce for a 4-hour lower high because these retraces are getting a little too deep. Nope, that didn't work. Try. Yeah, we hit the 50% retrace. So now a 4-hour higher high is not guaranteed. The bulls have got themselves into a little bit of a pickle. So let's go look at ES and let's get the reaction. Is it gross? Is the gross domestic product gross? 3677 is your important level. That's the low of overnight. 3677. I'm just watching this real quick. Jobless claims are numbers that come out every single week, so they don't have that shock and awe. That sometimes they do, but they typically don't because it's just every Thursday they're reported. Now, non-farm payrolls, that's a different matter altogether. So let's see how the bulls and bears fare here. Got elevated volume on this data, and people are waking up. Eli, I use the hourly 50 MA on every single chart, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now we'll be going over those. Y'all ready to get started? Let's get started. This is who I am, Charkow Lori. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter at Charkow Lori, I would appreciate it. Let's get that number over 4,000 for followers. That'd be great. If you want to check us out, chartguys.com, see what we do. We teach technical analysis. So we focus heavily, and I mean heavily, on price action. There are many different strategies and systems that people use to trade, and I'm not saying that any of them is better or more superior than another. But I would say, I'm going to contradict myself. Price action is king, queen, prince, and princess for me and for the chart guys. We all use different indicators. We use charts in different ways, but the overall premise is the same. Is we're looking for trends. We want to identify those trends and position ourselves inside those trends, either counter trend knowingly or with the trend, either way, and have a game plan, an entry and an exit. And we teach a lot of risk management. And what I do here every morning is I go over indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. And I typically have these notes. They are typically off the screen, and I save these for TCG members. And I just want to share this with you today because I want to make sure you leave with all the guidance I can provide you, because I think today is going to be a tricky day. Not only did we just have GDP, I don't even know what that is. If someone could share that information, that would be great. It's a tricky day. We have the data, and we had a nice bounce yesterday. So we're in, if you go to Bukowski, I was actually on Bukowski's site this morning. And I was looking at pattern rank, and I was looking at flags. But when you go look at the top 10, you look at these flags, it's still, he has bull market, bull market, bull market. Well, where's the data for bear market? Because I was looking at, I'll give you an example. And I'll get started with the indices in just a second. I think this is important. When I look at a chart like this, I'd print it for mom's fridge. It is a perfect textbook bear flag pattern. Now, what is the probability, if I needed the actual statistics, what is the probability this will break bear? Well, I wanted to go here and say, okay, what is it? Come on, Bukowski, tell me. We're in a bear market. There's not a lot of data compiled. But in general, wouldn't you think that if we are in, and this is just me pondering with you, wouldn't you think if we're in a downtrend that a bear flag would break bear? You know how many charts look like this? We have so many charts that look like this. So it would beg, I'm trying to make my statements very carefully. Okay, now we're coming down a little harder. We haven't hit 3677. I can make a strong case that the probabilities favor this breaking bear. We have had bull market rallies of late. We've had them in July and August. We have had some short covering rallies, but they're just relief rallies cooling off RSI. Bulls haven't proven anything on larger time frames. So looking at this PANW, knowing that the indices have lost, well, ES has lost the June low, wouldn't you say this has a high likelihood of breaking bear? So when I'm looking at these patterns, I'm saying, okay, that was a nice bounce. Congratulations. You got a 2% bounce, PANW bulls. But what are bears doing? They're just waiting to pounce. It's been working. Why stop now? So we're testing that 3677. So again, we're in a tough space, but we'll get it together. Before the end of the show, we'll have a game plan. So daily lower highs are the more likely scenario on most charts that I'm looking at. Yet bulls have made enough room for a 4-hour higher low. Aggressive bears are looking to top fish a potential hourly lower high. Aggressive bulls are looking to bottom fish a 4-hour higher low. Bulls have favor for short-term momentum as long as hourly 50 MA is below them. Now, if you want to just copy that and that be your motto for the rest of the day and forget about the rest of the show, don't leave. But it would get you through today because I think that is how the framework we have to work. So Hang Seng was down 0.49%. DAX was down 1.11%. Can't glean a lot of information from that. Dixie's in a 4-hour downtrend. That dollar relief, we broke the 3677. So let's see. Where is the golden pocket? 3661 is the next target on ES if we were to hit this golden pocket. So yesterday, Bank of England intervened and it brought the dollar down hard. Bank of England has decided to buy the gilt. And I was jokingly saying I have some gilt to sell them. But they're buying their bonds. They're intervening in their markets and their treasuries. And that was a negative impact to the dollar, i.e. a bullish impact or tailwind to market equities. So now we have a 4-hour lower high set. Now, will we get a 4-hour higher low compared to 112.56? And I would say that this will be the most important chart that I look at today to determine, will markets continue their bounce or are they done for now? Which breaking that 3677 was a little telling that we just broke that overnight low. Okay, so when I look at things, I wanted to go over this yesterday. This has nothing to do with technical analysis. I just pulled a chart. But I want to create a visual for this and actually include what I look at, like the dollar, US 10-year, Bitcoin, Apple, QQQ. And I give them different weighting in my head. And I'm constantly sharing with you, but the more that I can make that a little more mathematical, I think it would help you to understand how I'm processing all this data. I'm looking at market internals. If you put market internals, I would rank it as my number one edge right now. Definite number one edge. With all the volatility, I need to know what's going on under the hood. Are the weighted names, the high names like Apple, technology, consumer discretionary, finance, healthcare, are they leading the charge down or up? That tells me a lot about what's going on under the hood. So market internals would be number one, then dollar, then US 10-year. And I would say Bitcoin is further down on the list, but it's there. Bitcoin gives us clues. And I'm constantly looking at all of this data and synthesizing it and saying, okay, now which way am I looking on the market? And I'm so sorry this isn't relevant to technical analysis as far as what's listed here. It just was a great chart. I forget what the name of this scale is. It has an official name. But this scale is what I have in my head as to what is the most important. And it shifts. If dollar's taken the lead like it has, dollar has been much higher on my list, number 2, than it has been for a long time because it's been way down on my list. VIX is on the list. It's probably in the middle of the road. So I'm constantly weighting these, and I know that I'm not giving you actual numbers every single morning. And I'll tell you, Hang Seng and DAX, they're way down here, but they're important. I hope that helps. I hope that helps kind of what I'm trying to explain to you. And some mornings you're like, why are you, all you're talking about is the US 10-year. And then other days I don't talk about it at all. If it's doing nothing, then I don't need to talk about it. If it's just going sideways, then I don't think it's impacting the market. But when we have Bitcoin leading the charge like it did this weekend, that's some data we need to talk about. We need to analyze, and we need to give it more weight than we typically do when it's a nothing burger. All right. Hopefully that helps. So dollar is not a nothing burger. It has been dictating our direction, and 112.561 is our key support. Key resistance 113.789. So ES, we're bouncing back from that loss of 3677. We lost it by about $4 and we're bouncing. Where did we end up? Probably about 55% retrace. So we're still looking for a 4-hour lower high on the next bounce. We'll see what's happening. Yesterday, end of day, that was some very interesting short covering that was happening. And the market internals were very choppy early on, and then they shifted. Immediate shift to, we have bulls in large and in charge. And the weighted names were really pulling hard. And you could just see that shift. And when the shift happens in an extreme manner, then you start associating short squeeze with that. So let me show you this as well. And this is why on so many charts, this is not accurate. Don't send the trend line police after me. Don't come for me. I'll send for you. I know this isn't completely accurate, but you get the picture. We're getting higher highs without follow through. We're getting lower lows without follow through. So we have a megaphone, and you're going to see this on so many charts. So many charts look like this. All right, so ES, NASDAQ, RTY, and YM, I couldn't find anything of the 4 where they were behaving differently. So I lumped them kind of all together. about those daily lower highs are more likely. We're looking for a 4-hour higher low. So I think bulls have the best positioning this morning, looking for those 4-hour higher lows. They have space beneath them for that to happen. VIX has a 4-hour downtrend. VIX double top yesterday. Did y'all see that? Or Tuesday overnight, I forget which exact moment. 35.05 and 34.88. We double topped. So now we're inside yesterday's range. And odds favor an inside bar. We have a 4-hour lower high. We actually broke the low of this 30.30 without follow through again. Y'all see it? Forming on so many different time frames. So we have broadening formations everywhere. And they're not confirmed. We need 3 touches on both sides for them to confirm. When I first joined TCG, there was a trader, Atan, I'd probably say 2 years into TCG, and he would talk about buying lower lows and shorting higher highs. And I thought he was smoking that good stuff. I'm like, what is he doing? That's opposite of what we normally do. Higher highs means we're trending higher. But what he was doing was this type of pattern. It works very well for this type of pattern. So a VIX lower low would be a buy. A VIX higher high would be a short. And it's very tough. That's one of the tougher trading patterns for me to trade. So I tend to avoid it. Now I can buy lower lows on falling wedges. So when we have falling wedges like this, that third lower low, I can buy those, especially if it lines up or only when it lines up with a larger time frame higher low attempt. I can buy those lower lows and I'm not as jumpy. So overall, megaphone is the name of the game. Let me give you NASDAQ levels. Do y'all see it? Y'all want me to keep drawing crappy trend lines, or do you see it? Okay, we have enough room for a 4-hour higher low. Your resistance 11,613.50. And your support is the low of yesterday, 111. No, that was Tuesday. Man, my days are all getting messed up. 1114150. And we held that June low. So NASDAQ held that June low, 11,068.50. And ES, I just want to go back to that real quick. I want to make sure that every time we gather together like we are, that I mention this 339750. It's still my target for potential downside. It could happen over the next month. It doesn't have to happen today. I'm not saying that. 339750, the pre-COVID high, for me looks like an obvious target for bears. We'll see. It's not actionable information. I'm just sharing it with you. RTY, your resistance is 1731.80. Your support 1647. YM, resistance 29883. Support 28886. Look at that. Dow held that low, overnight low. You go, Dow. Dow's like, I'm tired of y'all picking on me. RTY didn't, NASDAQ didn't, ES didn't, Dow did it. And we're still holding the hourly 50 MA despite the GDP reaction. We went over VIX. US 10-year is a nothing burger right now. We're looking for a 4-hour lower high. We have enough room for a higher low. We'll see how this resolves. Do I have to keep calling it out, or y'all just tired of me talking about it? Every chart I look at, higher highs, no follow through, lower lows, no follow through. Bitcoin. Let me go back to my notes on Bitcoin. Daily EMAs are overhead, 4-hour EQ, barely holding EMAs. So on Bitcoin, inside bar, we're inside yesterday's very large range. When we have inside bars and we zoom in, often we'll find equilibriums, which is what we have here. So on this equilibrium, we have resistance 19773, 20383. We have support 18487, then 18153. We're holding 4-hour 50 MA, and hourly we're threatening to lose it right here. So you see that it's not as positioned as well as the indices. Bitcoin has a little bit more bearish Momo. And on the next bounce, we're looking for a 15-minute lower high. Ethereum, what did I write about that? Daily 8 EMA overhead. So this one, let me go back to Bitcoin. When we look at the daily, do you see how the candles are peaking up above the 8 EMA, the green line? They're trying. Look at Ethereum. No head pokey allowed. Look at the 8 EMA dominating price, just dominating. The spikes have been absolutely fun, but there's no material change in what's happening on larger time frames. We have a high 1451, higher high, lower low 1253, lower high. Do y'all see it? You see it, right? We have this is so tricky. If you are a newer trader and you got your you know what handed to you yesterday, I would expect it, not because you're a bad trader, because these are tough trading conditions. Higher highs, no follow through, lower lows, no follow through, and newer traders who are just learning have to learn in this environment. If you're losing money, you're paying too much tuition to learn all these things. You're learning trading in the most difficult environment. Flip the script, make it a positive thing and say, this is really, really tough. If I can paper trade and become consistently profitable on paper in this environment, wait till it gets a little bit easier. I'll really be making the bucks. So don't pay the steep tuition that's required in this environment to learn how to trade, okay? And that's Mama Lori, Aunt Lori, Grandma, whatever you want to call me. This is just me really trying to help you. It's a very difficult environment. I thought the environment when Trump was president and we had the North Korean headlines that would pop things, pop and drop things, I thought that was awful. That was July of 18, maybe. I thought it was terrible, horrific. It was nothing. That was kindergarten. It was nothing. We are in PhD level trading up here. So just stay calm, stay cool, stay collected, continue to identify your lower highs, your lower lows, and your patterns and your framework on higher time frames, okay? When we see this action, and I know I'm just getting stuck here and I'm 8 minutes in, Sister Lori, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. So it's a weekly inside bar. We're still stuck inside last week's range. Now, does this make sense? Yes. It's the drunk girl walking home from the bar in high heels, wobbling all over the place. Look at this. Higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, lower low, higher high, lower low, lower high. This looks like the girl walking home from the bar, right? Because we're in a tightening pattern. We're playing bangarang. Again, don't play bangarang with your real cash. If you're trying to identify these patterns, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Gold, you're welcome. All right, 2021, what a piece of cake that was, huh? And you're like, how did I ever have a losing day in 2021? Okay, we've lost the weekly 200 MA. Let's go to the monthly. Monthly, we're sitting on the 50 MA. I have shared with y'all that I think this boomer indicator, this 50 MA on the monthly, will hold on this initial test. And so far, so good. Now, on the daily, lower high could be set here at 1671. It remains to be seen, but we have made enough room for a higher low. The question is, what's the dollar going to do? Is the dollar going to roll over on that 4 hour, or is the dollar going to resume higher? I covered the dollar earlier, and I covered the 4 hour and 1 hour, but look at this daily. These pullbacks keep getting bought. As long as it's holding the 8 EMA, look at that. Look at that. Monthly RSI almost 81. Gold bulls need the dollar to lose 112.561 in order to have meaningful consolidation, enter the market for currency, for the dollar currency, and for gold to finally get a decent bounce going. Until then, dollar bulls will continue to get the smackdown. Support 1649, resistance 1671. If I'm a gold bug internally and I want to be bullish gold, I would say this monthly 50 MA is giving you all the hopium, well, as much hopium as can be desired at this point. Oil? A muppet. If you're making money trading, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're consistently losing money, That's the definition of insanity, to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. Paper trade that crap. Stop spending this high tuition. And traders who are just starting out are paying the most expensive tuition to learn trading than most. Resistance 86.68, support 80.34. Oil bulls did a great job yesterday. Now this daily lower low is most likely set. Now where do we set the daily lower high? So 86.68 is the last high. It's not a clear pivot high, but we're going to go with it. So this was such a big pullback. We're looking for a lower high and then a higher low for a tightening pattern. I'm still looking for the monthly higher low. I talk about the same thing every morning. Still looking for that monthly higher low. And bulls are making a better case for it right now on the daily. Come get that daily higher low compared to 76.25, and let's get this show on the road. Nat gas. All right, so nat gas. Here's another one. Look at this. Okay, that drawing needs to go in the trash. Look at this potential daily bear flag. So nat gas is at a critical level here. The bulls need to get their act together, and today is inventory day. I went through the commodities rundown like I do in our chat. So this is what our chat looks like. I need to talk faster, huh? Our chat here, I do a rundown, and the rundown did not provide any meaningful setups for me on nat gas or oil. I try to bring you a commodity setup every morning, and it's just not there for me. We have potential daily bear flag. 4 hour has enough room for a higher low compared to 6562. I just don't have a lot of confidence in the nat gas bulls here. Look at what they just did. Higher high, higher low, lower low, higher high, no follow through. Zoom out, look for the bear flag on a higher time frame. So I just don't have a lot of confidence in these bulls. You do have a 15-minute stair step that you could possibly trade, which a stair step just means that the preceding bar, the next bar keeps breaking the low of the prior one, and you're not breaking the high of the prior candle. So it just kind of stair steps down. And once it breaks the high of the low bar, that's an opportunity to go long for a counter trend scalp. I'm going to talk faster. Apple, we went over before I officially got started. I'm watching the golden pocket, 145.53. I think I put in my notes yesterday's low, 144.84 is the key today. We're still holding that golden pocket. It received an upgrade and a downgrade this morning, so conflicting news. Key stock for the market, super key. We need to hold 144.84, and I think a bottom fish of that level makes a lot of sense this morning. I think that is a nice risk to reward scenario. Amazon had much bigger bounce. Now I want you to see it on the 30-minute without. Look at this megaphone. So Amazon got over that 118.32, but did it do it with flare? Nope. Upper wick, a bear selling into it. Careful, careful. We could open up today, hit 119, and still be inside this potential broadening formation. So again, be careful. NVIDIA. MU has earnings after hours, so just know that that correlation exists. We're losing that 124.80 support. We have enough room for a higher low compared to yesterday's low, 123.54. So bulls will be looking to bottom fish 123.54. Y'all see it? See it? Okay, Tesla. I think I said nothing. All day, all the daily moving averages are overhead. It's a tough pattern here. Production numbers tomorrow. I'm just staying hands off on this one. So we're up here. 289 is your key resistance. Look at the daily spaghetti bowl we have overhead. As long as we have all of these key moving averages for me overhead, it's tough to go long. We're looking for a daily lower high. We have production numbers tomorrow. Someone may know something that I don't know. I don't have an edge here. I'm not trading it. Aluminum. Aluminum is up 7% this morning. Do you see that? So the proxy to trade aluminum, because the futures are not very liquid and the ETF is not very liquid, is AA. That's not Alcoholics Anonymous, which this trading and market environment may push you into AA. But this is Alcoa, and their primary business is aluminum. So I would look for a pullback buy on AA and CENX, another aluminum name, up 6% this morning. So you see what I'm doing? You see what I did right there? I told y'all how difficult this market is today. So I gave you Apple as a queen of the mountain, bottom fishing 144.84. I don't have the notes in front of me or the chart in front of me, but I know the level because that's my job. I have to know these levels of the names that I trade often. That is a nice bottom fish setup. And then I went to find names that can disconnect from indices and do their own thing. So what is shining in the commodities market? It's aluminum. Russia, there's some type of potential ban. So CENX and AA, they could possibly perform well for us. Nice pullback buys. Netflix had a beautiful day yesterday. We got 5-minute oversold in extended hours. I don't count that. So I'm looking for a 5-minute oversold in regular trading hours. And look at that little orange triangle. I've already set the alert for potential long. So Apple, potential long off yesterday's low. Netflix, potential long off a 5-minute back burner during regular trading hours. CENX and AA, potential long on pullback because of aluminum market and the headline. And then Adobe, this is a one-off for me. It is beat up. It's just totally beat up. I am looking for a dead cat bounce only. I'm not looking for this to change the structure of the chart. This 4-hour 8 EMA has been dominating price. But I like a potential buy against yesterday's low or this 27473 for just a dead cat bounce if the market can get the short squeeze going again, like yesterday. So this won't be a trade for me this morning, but this afternoon, if bulls can gather themselves together, get over the overnight high and put some pressure on the market bears, this could be a good dead cat bounce. I'm looking for a dead cat bounce only. That's it. I'm not looking for this to change its stripes overnight. It's still a mess. So Denzi's live in 2 minutes. And the ETF for aluminum. Joey just put it in there. It's J something. JJU. Just hit weekly oversold, but it's very thinly traded. And Dan's still watching that platinum. I think it's a daily falling wedge, so don't forget that either. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I didn't get to chart request at the end. I can't keep up with chat and rip through these charts like I did. I hope you have some clarity for today. I hope I've cleared up some things and you have a plan. And if the plan is to sit on your hands, then we still at least we gathered a plan, right? All right. Thanks for joining me and use stop losses.